that we called Wednesday Facebook Live. It's a beautiful day, and I hope that you are experiencing it. And welcome today for just a few minutes of from God's Word. Last Wednesday, if you tuned into this, you either watched it live or later. We talked about hope from the Old Testament book of Lamentations. Today, we're going to move into the New Testament with the same theme in the New Testament book of First Peter, the third chapter, and just one verse, verse 15. And so, in that teaching that that Peter is relaying to his audience, he says this to them: "In your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer for the hope that you have, but do this with gentleness and respect." So, I want to ask a question today. What is the reason for your hope? Now, that's a valid question. You might say, and I hope not, I don't have any hope. Well, that is, you can. I'll respond to that by saying you can. Hope in the Bible is not hope as if it may or may not happen, right? Hope in the Bible is something, when it says the hope that we have, it's talking about something that is sure and that is certain, that there's a certainty to it. And that's what Peter is addressing here. Be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you the reason for the hope that you have. Maybe you haven't thought about it like that. Let's say someone asks you, why do you have hope? The world is imploding. Our nation is kind of falling apart. But you seem to have hope. Why is that? What is the reason for your hope? What would be your response? What would you say? Think about that. It's something good to kind of have figured out in your mind, in your words, of how you would say, explain, respond to someone who can look at your life and know that your life is characterized by hope. Now, today, a lot of people would answer that question by saying, if you was to say, what's the reason for your hope? They would say, well, I've got enough money that whatever comes along, I'm going to be okay. Or I'm in good health there, so I have hope. Or I have a really good secure job. Or my marriage is good. Or what? It's a bunch of different things. And while all of those things are not bad, in and of themselves, if those things are the foundation or the reason for our hope, then we're going to be disappointed. It's not going to be sufficient. The reason Peter is talking about is found a couple verses later, 3 verses later, actually, in verse 18. This is the reason for our hope right here. For Christ died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring us to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive by the Spirit. Therein lies the reason for our hope. Because of what Jesus Christ did for us and for the gift of salvation, for drawing us to Himself, for doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves. That is the reason for our hope today. And that is no small thing. It is a life changer. It is the only thing that is not going to change. Everything else is and will, but that will not. So, what is the reason today that you have hope? Our prayer for you, for everyone, is that we will be able to say, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus Christ, and his righteousness. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. God bless you. Thanks for spending just a few minutes with us on this beautiful Wednesday.